first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs has come and gone. 4 games against the Nashville Predators proved a worthy palate cleanser following a regular season that seemingly didn't want to end. Now the Colorado Avalanche have returned to the scene of their postseason failures. The A emblazoned on their chest might as well be a scarlet letter, the perfect symbol of the sins of their past they carry with them into the second round against the St. Louis Blues. Have the growing pains and hard lessons learned properly prepared them for this moment? Are they destined to forever disappoint, making their scarlet A stand for again? Or will they shed their scars on the road to greatness?
Welcome in, got the mic to work there, to the DNVR Avalanche pregame show presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Rudo from home, Blais, Meghan, and AJ all in studio for game 1 of the second round. Avs versus St. Louis Blues. They're back. They're back to the second round. We're here to talk about it. It's the moment that this entire season has been building toward, as AJ put it the other day. So, going into the game, the Avs, going into the series, the Avs are as healthy as they have ever been this season. They couldn't possibly be any healthier than they are. Yeah. What's that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Sure. Even with Mikko out, they would be the healthiest they've ever been. So, still counts. In any case, St. Louis on the other side, they're going with Jordan Binnington in net. They've kind of made their bet on that front given the first round. This is the same matchup they played in round 1 of last year. How y'all feeling? How we feeling about round 2 before it starts?
I can hear Rudo over the bar.
I think how are we feeling about round 2 before
Great.
It starts? Probably similar to the Avs, a bit restless.
Yeah, I mean, really, genuinely bored. Let's everybody. The first period is going to be like the worst period of hockey because both teams should be rusty at this point and way overamped. And it's like, it's too bad that they can't play like a fake period
A fake period.
to like a preseason period. Yeah, like some shimmy. Like
the points don't matter.
Let's play some fake hockey first because let's get some of that rust out of that way because both teams have just kind of been sitting around for a while now. It was like, oh, what's going to happen with Colorado being rusty? But now it's like both teams have been sitting around for 5 days. It's like, well.
And for the Avs, it's extended. It's kind of weird this year. Like, is this the first year where they just haven't rolled when your opponent goes into their game 7? It's basically like, cool, day off for travel. You're right back in it. And that's kind of the advantage that you get.
And then 5 game 7s.
Yeah.
To decide all the other series.
Right.
Like, this was the one series that we've known.
Yeah.
So, definitely weird, but it's fine.
Is there... Obviously, both teams have had a significant off time. Yes, you can talk about them both being rusty, but also, that's a lot of time for both sides to game plan. Who's got the advantage with more time to look at all that tape?
I don't know that either team's going to have an advantage in that area because these are division teams.
Yeah.
They play each other. They've been in the same division for years. Same coaching staff, same cores. You know, there have been some changes. The Blues are stylistically quite a bit different than they were when they won the Cup in 2019. The Avs are much, much better than the 2019 version.
Yeah.
But they definitely they will know each other. They'll be very comfortable with each other. I think going into the series not much advantage, but you'll see tactically that advantage that will separate probably between about games 3 and 4. You'll really start to see what's working and what's not for teams.
Yeah.
Some of it can't be scouted, too, just like goaltending.
Sure.
Who Binnington is in this series is who we're going to get. And
Yeah.
so I think it's just going to be what it is.
Yeah. I mean, which Binnington? Are you getting Binnington or are you getting Winnington?
Winnington.
You know, like which one of,
Billington.
like which version do you get? And because if you're going to get the guy that was great against Minnesota last series, like your task is that much tougher.
Yep.
If you get the guy that you got last year's series, you feel pretty good.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Continuing down the line, obviously, there is significant history with the second round here for the Avs. This is a round that they haven't gotten out of in nearly 20 years now. Their last time.
It is 20 years.
Is it exactly 20 years? Was
2002.
the last one? Yeah.
Yep.
Their first opportunity after that was 2004. Was their first second round loss since then. So it's been a lot of years of losing the second round beyond just the last three that everyone is so familiar with here. On St. Louis's side, they're in a bit of a weird spot, right? Because, like you said, they won the Cup in 2019, but I wouldn't say necessarily that they've underperformed in the following years. It's just that they weren't as good of a hockey team. So, and I know the answer to this is the Avs, but because there's more pressure on the Avs, how do they use that pressure to their advantage, or how do they push some of that pressure onto St. Louis instead?
That's a hard one to answer. I mean, I think the Avs are looking at this as just like a milestone, right? Like, you can't just be happy with getting out of the second round.
Yeah.
Like, the goal is the Stanley Cup this year, so you can't put all of your weight on this. So you have to go by, like, just how you prepare for each game, each series. And you can't think about it too much, because that's the head game that it plays, as being the favorite, you know, talking about them being so much more high-powered, like having that high-end skill, that can lead to guys not playing at their best, and you need them to be just focused on getting out of this and not making this like a big, huge hurdle to get over.
Yeah, I think the story around the second round stuff is stuff that people like us talk about.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a focus for them. I think their focus is, this is the day, this is the series, this is the opponent, this is part of the process. I don't think if they get out of the second round, then it's going to be like, well, no, we have to lose in the third round to figure it out. Like, they're comfortable with playoff hockey. They understand the environment. They understand the atmosphere. Some of this is about luck. You've got to stay healthy. Otherwise, they very likely would have been out of the second round a couple of years ago in the bubble, and then who knows what happens.
Yep.
You know, we have no idea what would have happened in the conference finals that year. But really, like, I don't. The pressure on them, I think, has been so minimized from the outside, because nobody puts more pressure on the Avalanche than the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Like, what can the three of us say that they haven't already heard, that they haven't had as a conversation themselves? They get it.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like a young team trying to figure it out. It's not an old team on its last run. It's a team with the highest of expectations. But those expectations exist because they have a chance to be special, because the talent is in place.
Yeah.
The reason that the expectations aren't on St. Louis is because the world doesn't view the St. Louis Blues that way. The Blues could look at themselves that way. Sure, everybody wants to on some extent. But deep down, these guys know the score. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Colorado should beat the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
I think to both your points, too, when I'm thinking about this series and what makes it different from Nashville is the Blues and the Avs are two teams that can bring out the worst in each other if they allow that to happen. And I think of this, like we've talked about the case of the exes and things like that, and I think there is a level of toxicity that can occur between these two teams, and that's why I think it's important for the Avs not to worry about St. Louis getting in their heads, but to stay in their lane and focus on their own individual game and not allow the Blues to extinguish what it is about the Avs that makes them a good team, and that's their own identity and sticking to their own process.
Yeah, and that mental game is the thing that they talked, really, we've talked all year about. After the Vegas series, where they felt like they lost their way, they got in their heads, they didn't adjust, they didn't play very well. And then when they did play a good game, it still got away from it. It didn't go their way. And then by that point, it was just too late. It was done. The momentum was gone. So
The head games is an interesting topic too, right? Like, are the Blues going to try to goat Kadri into taking some type of dumb penalty?
You should absolutely. I've said this before, but you'd be dumb not to test him.
Yeah,
you've got to try Kadri at some point. You've got to make him prove that he can be an effective hockey player while also knowing where that line is.
Yeah.
Because you can look at how Kadri played in the first round series and say, "God just didn't play very well."
Yeah.
And how much of that is a result of him trying to bottle it all up and be a different guy than he has been in the past? And how much of that is he just didn't have a great series?
Yeah.
We don't know. But you've got to try him. You've got to try him. You've got to work him. You've got to try and see if you can get him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then great. Like
you saw Nashville do it. I mean, that's what they tested him a bunch.
Yeah.
After every whistle, you saw somebody
and
up
he
in his
wasn't
face.
baited too
No,
easily.
yeah.
I was encouraged by that. And I think this is something that the Avs are going to be aware of. There was a lot of chippiness between the Blues and the Wild in their series, and I'm hoping that the Avs are bracing themselves for this possibility and not going to entertain it in the first place and to shut it down at the start.
We got $5 super chat here from Bank saying, "Let's go. Would be so sweet to use the Blues to get over the second round curse. Over under on how many sticks will Salty Bennington swing?"
0. I'm saying none. I'm saying it doesn't happen.
I think he might throw some blocker hands.
One of the people I asked about the goalie and the knives actually knew Bennington off ice, and they're like, he's actually really normal. And I just sent them the video of him swinging a stick at Kadri's head. I was like, are we sure about that? Are we sure he's really normal?
I mean, I would believe that. Like,
no, everybody changes when you put skates on.
Sometimes like the competitor in you can really make you a monster.
I can believe that.
Like, you guys we've never gotten competitive on anything we've ever done. Otherwise, you guys would not look at me as nearly as friendly.
So the Avs did play St. Louis 3 times in the regular season. Avs went 2-1 in those, including a win, their only win really down the stretch of the season. The one team they kind of turned it up against. And we also have some graphs here from our new intern Blake, who got some season-wide stuff that shows the Avs are kind of better than St. Louis in every single category, if we can pull some of those up. That's not a graph. That's not a graph either. There we go.
There we go.
So you have the goals for versus goals against graph here, and you can see both teams scoring a similar number of goals, but the Avs giving up significantly less over the season. As these other graphs will show, St. Louis has been shooting the roof off of the building this season. So this one is shot quality and expected goals for versus against. Again, same kind of story. Fairly close. Avs a little bit better on the expected goals for, but significantly better on the expected goals against. So defensively, it seems like the Avs have a very significant advantage based on the advanced metrics. We got 2 more graphs here. This one's just your standard Corsi for and against. Hard to see, but the Avs right there near Edmonton and Pittsburgh, pretty far into the good at controlling the puck zone, and then St. Louis right there with New York as the worst playoff teams when it comes to possession. And the last one is that shooting percentage / save percentage, PDO. Many people know it, the stat that closely resembles luck in the NHL. Again, St. Louis basically shooting the roof off the building as a team, averaging close to 10.5% shooting percentage. And the Avs getting slightly better goaltending percentage, but a much more reasonable shooting percentage. So,
as a team, the Blues have had one of the greatest shooting regular seasons in 30 years. And that's where a lot of their offense came from. And look, some of that is talent.
Yeah.
Go down their lineup. A lot of really talented goal scorers there. But when a guy like Ivan Barbashev has 60 points for you, no offense to Ivan Barbashev, but he's not that good. It would be like if JT Compher had a 60-point season out of nowhere, where we would all just be like, what the hell is this? So, yeah, like some of this stuff some of the stuff you can definitely look at and say this is not going to continue.
Yeah.
And you look at it, they scored 22 goals in the first round series. 18 of them came from 4 guys. So they got into the first round series, and immediately the depth stopped scoring the goals that they had been scoring. And that was against a team that did not get good goaltending. What happens if Darcy Kemper plays well? And
the Avs defense.
What happens if Darcy Kemper doesn't play well?
Yeah.
Because I think that's where you look at where is St. Louis's great chance here to equalize. Special teams, Darcy Kemper does not play well.
Yeah.
Darcy Kemper can sink the whole thing on his own if he just doesn't show up.
Yep.
If they get no meaningful upgrade over what Philip Grubauer gave them in round 2 last year, that's their pathway to not being victorious.
Okay. I do want to get into the momentum conversation, and obviously both teams have been off for so long. We've already talked about it. Really, you're going from square one. Neither of these teams is bringing in any momentum from their last series. So, how important is getting off on the right foot? How important is rolling downhill in this series? Obviously, you have the cliches. You're not in trouble till you win at home. Yada, yada, yada. Game 1. If St. Louis wins it, are the Avs hitting all the panic buttons, or is that just a reset and go again?
I say this before every series, but game 1 is where all the weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, losing at home, that's not something that the Avs lost one home game in last postseason, and it cost them a series.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very bad to lose games at home. But losing game 1 and hit the panic button, no, you just ups the pressure in game 2. You've got to respond at that point. But just like it's scoring first in a game, you get that first win, you force them to chase the series. It gets harder and harder and harder for them every time that you rack up a win. So I think the momentum, I would say it's even going in. They each reset. It's been long enough since the last series. They both felt like they got out of the first round comfortably. They're on even footing.
Yeah.
It's just that they're in Denver, where the Avs have lost like 13 games in 2 years. So you feel great. If you're the Avs, you feel great. You're playing in front of your crowd. Your building has been nuts. It's gonna be. Everybody is ready for this, in particular.
Well, you get that instant boost from just being with the home crowd as well. So like that's an advantage. But like you just said, game 1 is where a lot of goal scoring happens because the teams are filling each other out, like we talked about it a little bit earlier, and that's usually where you see this higher scoring game. Now, the Panthers and the Lightning are kind of flipping that around right now, but like usually what you see is like it gets more defensively sound as the series goes on.
Yeah, I think there's room for some weird hockey. We joked about the scrimmage happening, and I think there are probably moments that might look like a scrimmage, and I like drama a little bit, so coming into this, I thought, if the Avs lose tonight, what does that mean for me and how I feel about them? And I underestimated them in the first round, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. So no matter the outcome, even if they lost tonight, I'm not worried about them. I don't think that's going to happen. They have a lot of advantages going into this, especially being healthy, but I'm not really worried even if there was a loss tonight.
We do have a $20 super chat here from John saying, like to see number 29 set up at the top of the corner and bust off a one-timer a la Brett Hull. If Max one-timer was that good, he'd have a Hart Trophy.
Should have 2 of them anyway, but whatever.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I will say it looks like St. Louis is going with the 11-7. As of morning skate today, it looked like they were going 11-7. If they do that, they're essentially punting on their fourth line.
Yep.
And it'll be really interesting to see how Jared Bednar picks his spots with his fourth line, knowing that they're saying, all right, here's our top 9. These are our guys, and we're just going to lean on them very, very, very heavily. And how Colorado responds with their fourth line will be interesting.
Exactly.
I think he
at home.
rolls that fourth line out.
Well, and
Put some punishment on those 3 lines.
Not just that part of it, but also the aspect of if you've got 7 defensemen, then you've got guys rotating partners.
Yeah.
So you're trying to use Colton Parayko to get through a Scott Perunovich even strength shift. if that's the case, like Jared Bednar's just like sitting there waiting with his top line and Taves and Makar, like, put Perunovic out there. Do it. You know, like put Callie Rosen on the ice. Like, come on, do it. And the second that it happens, you know, like, there goes 29 over the boards, you know, like, and being at home gives them that advantage where on a face-off, when St. Louis is like, okay, we're going to try this, we're going to their fourth line, like, they can pick that spot a little bit better. So the 11-7 is going to be an interesting wrinkle to this if they do decide to go with that. Ultimately, that was their morning skate alignment. But, you know how it goes. Sometimes they're like, yeah, we don't want to do this anymore. You know, whatever. So I'm interested to see how that chess match kind of plays out between Berube and Bednar. Where, look, no Pete DeBoer in the second round this year. So Jared Bednar stands a chance. Bednar's got a chance to outcoach somebody. His kryptonite went home.
All right. Blais, make us some money today.
All right, let's open this bad boy up. Let's see what we got. I'm going to keep going with my, what we got here? Oh, Taves with 2.5 shots on goal. I don't think that's what I chose. Is that what I sent over? But I'll take it. It's minus 130.
That's a weird minus.
That's, hold on, that is not the right one. Let's just keep going here, though. Mikko, anytime goal is plus 115. I feel like Mikko is going to have a good night. They're going to really try to match up on
I do
Mac.
feel like everybody is picking Mikko. He didn't score at all.
I know.
It's wishful, yeah.
He didn't score at all in the first series.
I'm going to keep putting it up there until it happens.
It's funny because like Mikko like hit the post like 7 seconds into game one against Nashville, and then didn't like he had chances after that, but that was his best opportunity of the whole series.
Yep.
So yeah, let's do that. Mikko to score in the first 30 seconds. Let's just get hyphy.
I like it a lot.
I wonder what my odds could be if I wanted to get that specific.
You'd have to call them and get it created.
Yeah, right.
I got Landy with over a half an assist at plus 130. And then that first one is Taves points minus 130.
So with Landy, is there? It's really hard to say this because he's really well known around the league. But is there a guy that the kind of year that he had? He was having easily a career year in the regular season.
Yep.
He misses 6 weeks. He comes out into the postseason. And he's like fourth on the Avs in scoring.
Missed a step.
Like he's this is the best we have ever seen Gabe Landeskog's all-around game, but especially offensively.
Yeah.
This is as well-rounded and as dangerous as he has ever been in his NHL career, and I think he is a huge key to their success. Look, Nichushkin, if you can't score next to McKinnon and Rantanen, you'll get pulled off that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But if Landeskog can help elevate that second group and get that second group going into really dangerous territory.
Well, and just think about the way that
look out.
Yeah. The way that he plays against the Blues, too. He loves
That's a good
playing
point.
against the Blues.
Yeah.
So
something about playing against Braden Shen really
Shen probably
fires him up like personally.
Yeah.
So does Braden Shen try him again this year?
Not after the beatdown from last year. I don't think it happens again. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Shen was feeling it with the Wild, though, in the last series. I feel like he'll be antsy, looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
See how chippy game one gets, but
Is there anybody on St. Louis that matches up? Is it Braden Shen? Is he like their answer to what Gabe Landeskog brings to the table for Colorado in terms of the all-around ability plus some of that edge? Because St. Louis's forward core is like Jordan Kyrou and Thomas and Saad and Buchnevich. These are great players, highly skilled players. Not a single one of those names is a guy that you would associate with like physicality and toughness.
Yeah.
You know?
a
So
little bit of puck digging out of Saad maybe, but
yeah,
definitely
like
not.
you get like we talked
get
about Saad.
sandpaper.
We talked about Saad when he was in Colorado. He's effective the way that he plays, but he's not like a physical player. He uses his body well, and that's The same thing with O'Reilly. He's not like a physical guy. He's just really good at what he does. Shen seems like the one guy that's like in that top 9. I guess Barbashev too. That could just be like, yeah, all right, we'll try him. Like we'll mess with this. Let's see how this goes. And I'd be really curious if Landeskog like beats the pride out of him again. Can we bet on that? Landeskog beating up Braden Shen?
Let me look it up.
I'm just curious.
Real quick, game score predictions.
Dude, I don't know. I hate game ones.
I know. That's just why you just make up a score. It's fun.
I think I've got 3. I'll say 3-2 Colorado tonight.
3-2. I'm going 4-2 Colorado.
I had 3-1 in my head. I was going to be kind of conservative with it.
Okay.
I was leaning towards 3-1, and then I could just picture
But someone's
somebody scoring with like 7 seconds left, and it's like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Rudo, what do you got?
We're going 5-2.
Nice.
Wow.
I like it.
How many empty netters? 1?
At least 1. Yeah.
At least. Okay, cool. I'm good with it.
Okay. We're gonna. Did Blais get a score in?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna wrap up this show. There is about 5 minutes left in this Florida-Tampa Bay game. Tampa's up 2-1 at the moment.
7-1.
Chat is predicting blowouts. They've watched every game 1 that the Avs have played the last couple of years. I get it.
Chat's going hard. Not sure exactly what they'll do with the Avs game. They might start it over on TBS or something, or they'll just start it after this Tampa-Florida game. Either way, I'm doing a watch-along live from my house, so come tune into that on your second screen if you want to vibe. If you're down at the bar, go vibe down at the bar, which is way cooler than being at my house. I wish I could do that.
People kept trying to come say hi to me, and I was asleep pregame, so sorry, guys.
I'll be there Thursday, hopefully. I better be able to be there Thursday.
Welcome, new guy.
Yeah. Everyone send some love Blake's way. Or the new guy in the chat. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Elliot?
I meant Elliot, but yeah. Also,
Ooh.
welcome the new guy intern.
Intern Blake.
Intern Blake.
Intern Blake.
Got 2 weeks with a high school kid to corrupt. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Megan's face just lit up to the point where I'm a little nervous
I didn't know
now.
we had an intern.
I'm a little
I just
nervous.
learned in real time.
Anyway, we're going to get out of here. You know, you can catch us all post-game as well, breaking down whatever happens in the game. So tune in to watch along, tune into that. We love you, and I'll talk to you in like 2 minutes.